Gender roles have been the most prominent in the Victorian era. They were characterized as having strong ideas regarding the roles of each gender in society, with men who are expected to present themselves in public spheres, such as politics and business, while women are expected to stay at home, taking care of the private sphere. Although it still varied from one society to another, most of them would adhere to gender stereotypes. At first glance, many of these gender stereotypes may not seem harmful, but more often than not, they cause damage anyways. For instance, are the nurturing mothers and caregivers. This is a great responsibility which one should be grateful of, but it can also lead to women being excessively burdened with social responsibilities. A more precarious role, for example, is the notion of men having dominant sexual ownership over wives. These types are getting less and less prevalent, but it is nonetheless common in certain parts of the world. Whether a specific stereotype is aggressive or not at first glance, they ultimately cause similar amounts of damage in the long run. Gender roles related consequences can show up in many ways. Think about it. Let's say that little girls are deprived of going to school due to their gender. This is inequality at its finest, underestimating the potential capabilities of a girl solely because of the preconceived notions of stereotypes. Many of the gender stereotypes we know today didn't actually align with past notions, which are merely born as new trends today. This is because societal expectations on gender actually change over time. According to Sarah Bubbles, norms such as what we know as blue being for boys and the pink being for girls are new concepts. She articulated that between the years 1918 and 1940, pink was viewed as the more masculine color, while blue was seen as dainty and soft, making it best for females. Another instance mentioned was during the Middle Ages in Europe, where high heels were exclusively for men rather than women, as they were seen as a sign of masculinity that emphasizes their height. This shows that the attributes people connect with traditional gender categories were very different only a few centuries ago, and cannot be used as a reliable basis for establishing roles today. It is long due that people refrain from inheriting rigid gender stereotypes as they are simply social constructs that are debatably necessary for society to function naturally. While others may believe that traditional gender behaviors are simply in our nature, gender and gender roles are not clear cut categories that can be applied to everyone in our society. Gender should be thought of as behaviors and personal identifications that exist along a spectrum.